Is this on? Great. How's it going, everybody? We're gonna go ahead and get kicked off. Hopefully, you got a little bit of food, a little bit of drink too in you. We're excited for this month's Black History Month founder stories. I'm gonna go ahead and kick things off with Kobla and the Austin Area Urban League Young Professionals. He's gonna give us a couple words, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
I'm terrible with names, right? I don't know. If you tell me your name now, I have to look. Jamie, that's Jamie. He's right here. I would not remember Jamie's name. I don't remember anybody's name. I remember my wife's name, and that's the only name I remember. Because if you get that wrong, you're screwed. So we got 4 kids, so I'm always messing the kids' names up too. We got 3 dogs, same thing. So you never know who is an investor. There could be a billionaire right here in this room. There could be, and I don't know. There could be a multimillionaire in this room, right? There could be, and I don't know. So treat everybody like they're going to invest in your company. Because you never know if they have a rich uncle, a rich dad, or whatever that plug is. Because I'm telling you, and the reason why I'm going to give you a really good example of how this works. So when I went to that first accelerator in up there in Virginia, we had 8 companies, right? And 3 of the founders in those companies wrote me checks out of my own cohort. So what I did with those own cohorts, I'm a nice person. I help people all the time. If they needed help, I helped them out, all that stuff. They helped me out. So when it came to it, I got $75,000 off the people just in my cohort. Now, actually, that's not true. I got $150,000 off the people in my cohort. And I'm still cool with them today. It's because I didn't know that they had money like that. I didn't know that. But we did a practice demo for my pitch competition, and my boy, one of the cohorts, he just took out a thing and gave me a $25,000 check. Like, here you go. I'm in. I want to be the first one to write you a check. And I'm like, man, this is crazy, bro. But yeah. So on that, yeah. So just treat everybody amazing. Second game, and I actually learned this in Techstars. Shout out to Amos. And this works. This absolutely works to raise money. If you got to have like a weekly or monthly newsletter, status updates for the company, and hopefully everybody in here is doing that. Everybody you meet, you need to ask them for, hey, can I put you on my list to send you updates? Because and this is what I learned about sales. Any salesperson will tell you a sales process is a long process. And the bigger the number that you're trying to get them to contribute, the longer that process is. So a sales process is 6 to 12 months. Nobody is going to write you a check the first time they meet you, probably, right? So sometimes people are like, oh, every investor, what you should be thinking in your head is, I know they're not gonna invest, but I want to get some rapport, and I'm gonna keep updating them over time. And when it comes at a certain point, they'll put some money in. When you do a call, you have to kind of like you gotta trigger this. What's up, Shaq? You come in making your presence known. I see it. So yeah. So what I'm saying here. Weekly or monthly updates, at least monthly, so the potential investors will know that. And more importantly is this, right? Again, treat them all like they're investors. Everybody here is an investor. Update them, because even if they don't got no juice or no money or no powder or whatever they try to say, they'll forward that to their friend. Man, this guy's been forwarding me this guy's emails. Updates are dope. Every time, boom, I'm gonna forward these to you, man. This guy's killing it, bro, and he's raising. That right there. I raised millions of dollars on that myself. And I have people that I mentor personally that raised hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. Yeah, like facts. That's how you do it. It's a long-term process. And that's how VCs work. And then you get one VC in, and then I've been updating all these other So the guys that put money, I did a $1.4 million round, like boom, money's in the bank. I did that raise in a week. Like, hey, I'm raising money. Here's how much I'm raising. All right, cool. Met one of them. Hey, I'm gonna give you. The original thing was, hey, we're gonna put 900 in, and I was gonna do 1.6, but with the money and all that stuff, it kind of changed. And then 2 days later, the one said, "Oh, I'll write you $700,000 check." So 1.6 closed in like 3 days. But all of them had rejected me, by the way, at some point. But then I kept on feeding them. Boom, we did this. Boom, oh, we did this deal. Oh, boom, we added this. Boom. So it's just like boom, interface. And I would say, if you know that you have some kind of triggering event or a raise, increase the tempo. Like, oh, I'm doing monthly, but now I know I'm finna raise, so I need to like boom. I need to be aggressive. Hit him up. And then I was like, this guy is about his business, and that's how you raise money from VCs.
Awesome. And then I got 2 more questions. I want everybody to start thinking about questions because we're going to open up for Q&A in a little bit. 2 more questions. If you were to start a business tomorrow, knowing what you know now, what's some of the stuff that you'd start thinking about?
That's a great question. This is the game I learned on the acquisition side. This is game. Listen to what I'm telling you right now. This is gonna make y'all so much money, and it's gonna make me a lot of money too in the future too. By the way, this is what I'm doing. Ask me the question again.
If you were to start a business tomorrow, and knowing what you know now, how would you start that business?
I would go to every corp dev person that I knew that was in the genre. So there's these people at corporate development, right? Y'all, somebody here tell me what corp dev is. What's? That's right. Yeah. So Sterling just put y'all on some game right there. So check this out. The corp dev people got a whole pot of money, and all they supposed to do is find companies to buy or invest in from a strategic perspective. That's all they do. Corp dev people are just like salespeople. They'll tell you, they'll spill their beans out. They're waiting to talk to somebody. So you say, hey, corp dev, what's kind of on the horizon? What kind of stuff y'all looking to do? Corp dev will tell you everything that they're trying to do. Corp dev people will give you a product to build, to buy. What kind of company y'all looking to, what kind of company? Oh, we're looking for a company that does XYZ. Next time I start a company, I'm gonna go around to all the security companies. Hey, what you trying to build next, sir? What's on the horizon? What do you think is gonna be hot next year? And they're gonna tell me exactly. Okay, cool. Does it need to have this? Do you want the color blue right here? Or you want to put your logo on here when I pitch you next time? And that's their job. So then you have an opportunity to feed them, just like I just said. What did I just say about the investors? The corp dev people, if you're trying to sell a company, it's probably a 6 to 12 month process. Again, the corp dev people should be the first people on your email updates. The corp dev person, because this is what happens in real life. The corp dev people, when they go to buy some company, like your company, you know what they have to do themselves? They're gonna have to go out and research and find all the people to do exactly what you do. And if they know somebody that does that, they're gonna be on the top of the freaking list. So if I'm selling XYZ, if I'm selling this product right here, I'm tied into everybody that could potentially buy me. Even if they say they're not interested, hey, look, I'm gonna put you in my updates anyway. So when that happens, when you're like, it's probably somebody doing exactly what you're doing, right? When they get bought, that's gonna do a build to buy. That's gonna trigger a build to buy decision on corporate dev. So the corp dev people are gonna be like, all right, cool. Our big competitor just bought this company over here. What other companies operate in that same area? Because we can snatch them up and we can have that feature. That's game, and that's how I'm saying that's gonna make me so much money, stupid. But the corp dev and VCs on the updates, so they know you and they can do a quick decision, because you cutting down their whole due diligence time. This guy's been tracking you for so long for either the investment. So it's easy too. Who's in your area? Type in corp dev, name of the company on LinkedIn. It's on like VP of Corp Dev, District Corp Dev, Senior Corp Dev. And I'm like, holy crap, if I would have knew this 3 years ago, I would have sold my company 3 years ago, you know? And I would have not had the equity because I took, I took on money, did all these accelerators and all that stuff. If I would have knew this right now, I believe that you can manufacture an outcome with some kind of trigger on it now. And the outcome could be like, I want to sell this company for $10 million before I started. 10 mil, that's a lot of money to me. I'm from the hood, right? I'm gonna sell this company for 10 mil in 2 years. I believe that you can do that, like you can manufacture that from the start now. And how you do that is you do that research up front, what they want to build, and you can build exactly that product, and you know your number, 10 mil, boom. I know I'm gonna sell it. So if it's 100 mil, this, that, and the third. But that's what I would do.
So you're building to sell day one.
Day one. Day one. You know what's funny? Selling a company, what happened was when you sell it, everything that you've ever done, it's like, I wouldn't say like Groundhog Day. You watch the movie and it's like a flashback to whatever happened, and it go like do a little bitty montage to all the scenes. That's what selling this company is like. Now, so basically, now I know that, wow, if I can like montage back, I can actually build that montage forward and make that outcome happen. It's just like a movie script. And that's exactly what it is. I did it in reverse. I'm like, holy crap, you mean I could have talked to corp dev people this whole time? I started talking to corp dev people about 3-4 months before I sold. And those guys are cool as a mug. They like, yeah, man, come out to our office. Boom, I'm hanging out. Everything, we're doing this. We just bought this company. This one dude, and I'm gonna sell a company to this guy. This guy's he got an itchy trigger finger. This guy's like, man, we ain't bought a company in a month, man. I want to buy a company. I'm like, whoa, you kidding me, bro? Like, no, that's what I do. That's my job. So it's people out there that want to buy your company. You just got to know how to. You just got to speak their lingo. I got you. I'm your coach. I'm your sales coach.
There we go. Awesome. So I got one question that I crowdsourced from a friend, and then I'm going to open it up to the crowd. This is from Janice Omodeki. I was chatting with her earlier today. She's a founder of the Mentor Method. She said, and this is top of mind for her. So this question's like speaking directly to her. It's her. Send this to her afterwards. The experience of exiting while being an underrepresented founder is very different. What are those differences? And please go beyond the high level.
Well, so I think that what it means is this is crazy because I saw Craig Cummins walking around here, and if y'all know Craig is cool as a mug. Craig actually was an investor in my company, and Craig actually he sold a company, and he told me exactly what would happen. And I'll just tell you this experience, right? So he said, hey, man, when you close this deal, you're going to have people, like, trying to come at you, trying to get you to start another company. Like, and I'm like, whatever, dude. It's like, I'm tired and all this stuff. And I'm like, nah. And so as soon as I sold the company, my existing investors like, how much longer do you have do you have a kind of, like, wait time for you to start something else? What are you doing next and all that stuff? Like, what? Like magic, like Sprinkle does, yeah, like boom. And I just actually came from San Francisco, and I was hollering one of my buddies. So I just came from San Francisco, bro, and going out there and having that exit thing, like I'm in a club out there. I'm like, this dude is like connected me with all these different VCs that I would never ever been able to talk to before out in the Bay. And he's like, hey, look, boom, let's go holler at this dude, holler at that dude. Just a personal tour, boom, boom, boom. Because they think it's like, they think, okay, this guy knows how to sell a company. And so I think that's the difference right there. And that's been the biggest change where people's like actively, and like out there in the Bay, they talking about, it's serious dough out there, as y'all all know. But I'm a Texas boy, so I'm gonna bring that money back to Texas eventually. So.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. So I'm going to open it up to the crowd. Hopefully everybody's feeling like they got some good questions to start firing away. I was chatting with Harold earlier, so I want to start with him because I know he's got to get out of here pretty soon. But yeah, fire away, Harold.
Appreciate you, bro. Obviously, you and I talked about this. This is a high level. I think we can definitely peel some layers back in smaller rooms.
Yeah.
But general question is, when it comes to fundraising, most founders are really protective of their equity. The 51% thing, you're exactly right. When you decided that you wanted to sell, I guess help me understand when you decided you wanted to sell the company, and then did you have an idea of how much equity you wanted to hold? So that meant that with every round, you knew you were going to lose so much. Like, did you, I want to be in the 15, 20%, I want to be in the high single digits. And then did you think through it that way, or was it something completely different?
No, man. I thought of this like I want this to be win, and I want it to be a good outcome for the investors. I cared more about the investors than I did about anybody else because, like like to me, like numbers that stuff that they would put in my company. If somebody put in 25K, like some angel or something, that's a lot of money to me. But sometimes it's not a lot of money to them. So in my mentality is like, man, I don't want to lose that person's money. So from a funding perspective, like real talk, I took on money to keep the lights on. It's like I gotta keep doing it. My investors, my leads of the last round I did, they said like, oh, we think we should sell this. I had highly funded competitors, all kind of different things, and it's like we think you should sell this, Marcus, and that's part of their job is to help you make those decisions. Shout out to Ryan Merkett. I don't know if y'all know Ryan Merkett. That dude taught me how to sell a company. That dude like walked me through this process, and I was like laughing at this dude and low key talking behind his back. I was like, you crazy? Like he's like, Marcus, this is easy. This is all you got to do. And like this is funny because I mean, I tell you like when a white person tells a black person that, they're like, yeah, it's easy because you white. That's what that's what we think. That's what they think. And it's so the funniest thing. Like, oh, it's easier for a white guy to do that, but he was right. I can't blows my mind how he was actually right. This is what you do. This is what like you build a list, right? And this I'm gonna like go into this a little bit. I don't know if it matters. Like I built out that list that I should have built out at the beginning. Here's all the potential people and all that. And then talking to those corp dev people, I was like, why didn't I talk to these people a long time ago? And so, and that right there, I think that's the best way to create that exit outcome from the beginning. And I think it's going to surprise the heck out of y'all, man. I highly recommend that y'all start doing that right. Start doing that like next week, man. Get like 30 companies that you think could potential plays. Look up their corp dev people and have those conversations. And this is how you open up that conversation. And I hope I'm not getting terribly off track here. How you start that conversation, and this is how I would play it. Hey, look, I'm such and such. I want to talk to you about potential teaming up with you. Or in like the alliance or partnership. Talk to you about partnerships. And that's easy. That's like low key. And that's their job. That's what they do. Just like, my man Jamie, he sources leads. His job is to talk to those companies. There's somebody that's inside of all these big companies. That's their job to talk to you. And they'll talk to you. It blew my mind. I was like, wow, these people are really in like big freaking companies. I'm like, wow, I can talk to any corp dev person on earth pretty much. And that just blew my mind. But as far as like of course you want to keep as much equity as you can, but I knew in the back of my head because I kind of heard the story, like I said, that Craig told me about if you sell one company, the next time it'll be easier, and that's what a lot of founders say. So if I would say like all right, I'm gonna give you this game. First company, sell it fast as you can, because you're going to come back around and you can build another company. Because, I mean, I'm 100% sure that I could do this again and I could do a way better outcome now. And just because everything ties up and it just totally makes sense now. And I would have, like I said, my next move, corp dev, I want to put 10 million in my pocket or something like that, right? And I'm selling as soon as I get to that number. So I'll probably do something like that, like 10 million cash after taxes and all that stuff in the bank. I'll sell, and then I'll chill, and then I'll be like, all right, cool. Now let's go for Billy. I want to be in the billionaire club now. So incremental steps. Put some money in the bank, do it again. That's my mind. That's how I work.
I've never heard that corporate dev strategy before. I love that. I absolutely
Money.
That's
Money, son.
probably one of the.
Telling you.
I feel like that's just unlocked like something in people's brains, or at least it should.
I'm telling you.
Like that's crazy.
It works.
But I'm gonna step away, start pointing people out and answering questions.
Great information today. Do you have any interest in selling your company and then being paid to really well to run it, basically?
Well, so,
Like that, or?
well, it's not. Are you describing a private equity deal?
Well, so I know of where I'm from. There's a company called Build.com, and this guy sold his company to a British company that owns like Lowe's and all kinds of
Yep.
blah blah blah.
Yep.
Anywho, then he was paid really well to be the CEO of that.
One.
Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I didn't-
Yeah.
That's a good game plan to try to do. It was his baby kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So the same strategy always applies. It's the exact same playbook, bro. It's like, if they're gonna acquire you, and like, look, so I got bought, and I'm actually working for the company to pay for me, and I'm running that line, that attack simulation thing. Same thing I built at Threadcare. I'm running that piece internally at this new company. So it's still the same strategy from a business perspective. If I know Lowe's is a potential acquirer of mine, that the same thing works. So I would go to Lowe's, and I would go to Home Depot, and I would go to Walmart, and I would go to Target, and I would go to all these different corp dev people, right? Because corp dev, they actually make equity investments, by the way. They got money. And what's crazy that Ryan taught me, I'm gonna tell you right now. Go look at this. If y'all don't believe me, this is so crazy. You can look at if a company's public, it can tell you how much money that they have set aside for acquisitions. Like money on the balance sheet, all that stuff. I'm like, wow, this is public information. So Ryan would like show me these S1s and all these different things. It's like, yeah, man, they got this much money in the bank. I'm like, what? This fool is like, you know what I'm saying? These are like cheat codes. I didn't know that. You can find out how much money they got. And he said, and based on that, Ryan's like, yeah, you can like drive the deal up because you know how much money they got versus this company. I'm like, wow, this is like dark magic. But yeah, that's it. Same process. They buy you, and you're running it. It's good. One right here.
So Marcus, I love the point about building your biz, keeping people up to date. What about the other side of that, where people think the more people you inform, the more people are going to steal your idea and run with it?
Yeah. So the saying that I have, hey, so the worst thing you can do is try to keep your idea secret. You're never gonna make no bread. That's a losing strategy. So I would say the more people that know about your company, the better. Be loud, proud, broadcast it as much as possible. People have to know about you. Yeah, somebody may steal your idea or whatever, but like it comes down to execution. Can you execute better than them? So any business, if you think about it, is not nothing new. Like MySpace was out a long time before Facebook. Facebook just executed better. MySpace tanked. So it's not about the idea. It's about how well you can execute as a business. 100%. Like I said. Oh, so one of my favorite stories is about how McDonald's actually spends billions of dollars on real estate. Y'all know this, but they have real estate gurus. So McDonald's has the foremost real estate experts in the world. They know more about real estate than anybody. So they can pick a prime location based on traffic, foot traffic, like area in the city. They looking up like, oh, all this stuff's gonna get built in the future here. Like McDonald's is on it. McDonald's know where to put every McDonald's like 10 years before it's there. Right? That's how crazy they are. But You know, Burger King, they don't have any research. They find a McDonald's and he put a Burger King across the street from it. So your competitors are going to be doing a lot of research for you as well. So keep your eyes peeled and see what they're doing and just build those features. Right? Yeah, they're gonna copy from you, but you're gonna copy from them too. That's my point. What's up, Nick? Oh, my bad. My bad. Are you,
So my question for you is, did you have an advisory board with Director? And if you did, how did you use it?
all right, advisors. That's a great question. He says, did I have an advisor board and how did I use them?
And if I could add, how did you compensate them, if at all?
Yeah, so basically, most of them like pretty much. Dang, what is it called? Safe Note or something? It's like this. Is it safe? Not a safe note. It's like it's one of those deals where you just look it up. It's like Y Combinator or somebody. They got the standard form. Advisor agreement. Yeah. My bad. It's an advisor agreement. It was one of them pre-canned forms. I used that, and gave them probably a quarter of a point, something like that. My initial option pool was 8%. When I took money, they said you need to increase your option pool, by the way, too, at some point. So it's all kind of stuff that happens like that. But what you want to do, I would say how I would do it better in the future. I did it horrible. I did talk to some of them. Some were on my, some advisors were just vanity advisors, right? And I think a lot of people do that, right? But in order to get the value out of them, it's up to the founder to utilize them and task them and all that stuff, and to make sure that they're you're getting the value out of those relationships. So I did it poorly, but I would say that, like, okay, somebody's a marketing guru, and that you're giving them some points. You just need to have a criteria and list of, I expect all these different things from this marketing person. Say, hey, we need to have a meeting once a month. You need to help me out with this in particular, and then keep them up to it. Right. That's how I recommend. So my buddy, one of my buddies told me that the valuation is whatever somebody would pay for it. Like that's what it is. And I'll tell you, like, some of the math that people try to use. So a services company is 1.5 to 2 points. 200% of the value. So if you're doing a services company and you're doing 100 million, let's just say $1 million, right? $1 million in annual revenue, that company is worth $2 million to $2.5 million. But when you talk about software, the 10x multiplier is what most people say. So if you're building a company, you're doing $1 million in annual revenue, but it's a software play, it's worth $10 million, right? So that would be your entry point. Like, hey, we're doing this much. We're doing a 10x multiple. But if you're building something that nobody ever seen before, and you're making $1 million revenue, all bets are off. You're just like, well, we're doing $1 million, but we got like a 40x multiplier, so we'll sell it for 40 mil. So it depends on the temperature, and it depends on how much it would pay. But those multiples are like, this is like the negotiate. This is where we start, right? Am I lying?
No, it's literally who will pay for what you have built. Like, the market will determine. So if you're chatting with somebody, they'll buy it for $1.5 million. You talk to somebody else, they might buy it for 4, but they don't know that other person would buy it for $1.5 million. So
yeah, and the reason why the valuation depends on, like, if the company that's buying you, how much effort would they have to do to build what you built, right? And how much time would that take them? So that's kind of like where it fits. If like I said, the other scenario where their competitor buys somebody just like you, and we need that feature right now, or all hell, but we're gonna lose because they're doing big deals. They're doing. When I say big deals, like somebody like IBM are doing, multiple $1 million deals. They're doing like $5 million deals with the government or something, or $20 million deal with the government. And so that one feature that can seem super insignificant to you, but if you had some kind of IP and you had it already built, IBM is like, look, I'm gonna snatch this kid up over here, because I'm bidding for $100 million government contract, and that kid built something that I need. You know, it's $100 million contract. All right, we'll give him 5 points and 100 mil. All right, so 5 mil, and that's the number. That's how it works. Well, I'm gonna go right here. The first 2, 1, 2, 3. What's up, bro?
So you were saying after you did the mentor said that one of the things that you would experience, especially as a black founder, would be a lot of people coming to you and ready for you to start a company. I guess my question is for you is that once it was official that you were exiting, you were selling your company, like what was your initial reaction? Like was it like a sigh of relief? Was it oh no, I'm selling my baby? Like what was your reaction to it being over with? At least, well, not over with, but
Yeah, so everything in my life I think has been counterclimactic. Like, man, you're doing all this work and then, well, it's over with, and that's how I'm like, wow, that happened. So I was like that, and talking about like somebody kind of asked, I guess like if you sell a company, that's just like that's the beginning of something. You have to kind of deliver on why the company acquired you. So that's why you would go to be a CEO, follow up there. And so what I'm not doing, I'm in that phase right now, is I'm in the phase of validating that it actually made sense. So I have to kind of prove myself again internally at this new company. And I have to make that win as well. Because here's the thing, if your company gets acquired and then you go to the new company and it's absolute crap, people are gonna know that. They're not gonna like, God dang, you're never gonna sell another company because you sold a turd and then everybody knows that. So nobody would trust you. The word would get back like, oh no, don't buy anything from that dude. He went to such and such and it was garbage and he was lazy, he didn't do enough. That's so in a sense, it's the beginning and then you have to work super hard to deliver on that. But I would say once you accomplish that, it's like you can name your price. You can go to a VC and say, hey, look, VC, I'm doing this new thing. Here's my exit strategy. All the stuff that all the game you're doing, and I'm talking about. And then you could like, all right, and then, all right, yeah, Marcus sold a company to this company. He went and integrated the product into the mainline product, this, that, and the third. So everybody won. And that's kind of like, that's where I'm at now. So it's still hard work.
So I kind of keyed on when you mentioned Audible. What are the top 3 books like overall that you would recommend people to read?
All right, yeah, that's a freaking awesome question. So, number 1 book, it's 2 books that I can name off the dome. From Zero to One. Have you read that? Yeah. Yep. And next book would be, I'm a fan of From Good to Great. And so, and I'll tell you, like, yeah. So there's points from those books. He makes a point about competition, and he talks about competition, and he says you don't really competitive. I think competition is fine because you can sell fast. The From Good to Great talks about it's almost like how do you build a winning culture in an organization. Number 3, what book would I say? Business wise, right? Business books, right?
Anything, absolutely.
Tribe of Hackers.
It's not on Audible yet. So yeah. So my favorite book that I read in the last couple of years is *Sapiens*. *Sapiens*. It's a good book.
And if I may, you get what you pay for. Like podcasts, they're great, but in my experience, I found that like 1 out of every 15, I'll get something valuable, and all podcasts are free. I can get that off Spotify or whatever. But books, like I've learned way more from like 2 books than I have from like 50 podcasts. So just kind of keep that in the back of everybody's mind. If they were a podcast fiend like me back last year, Audible's changed the game a little bit.
Oh, well, yep. It's just *Sapiens*. Amazing book. That book, it'll get you to think about stuff in a way different way. It's crazy. That's like the VC's favorite book too. So, oh, here's the deal. This is a game. Read these books and be able to talk about these books to the people that's going to fund you. There's a guy. This guy's done his research.
Talk the language.
Like, hey. And so when I meet with these guys, I'm talking about books. I'm not talking about investing in my company. I've talked to VCs for like 30 minutes and didn't even talk about my company. It's like, are you going to pitch me? No, I just want to get to know you. I'll holler at you. Can I put you on my updates? And then I start nourishing them and hitting them up. You're not going to pitch me? No, I'm not going to pitch you. Like, no. I'm crazy. I've walked out of VC meetings. I'm nuts. I've closed my laptop in the middle of meetings. I'm gangster. So I'm wild.
Thank you for sharing your information and knowledge. What would you say your aha moment was along your journey? Like you talked about, you built your business rebuilt 4 times. So like, when did you have that? This is it. I got it.
From a software perspective, and you don't ever got it. It's always something.
Well, before you sold, like, what kept you? When was that aha moment that kept you going?
Man, I don't have aha moments. I'm sorry. I wish I could just put out something. Some of the biggest moments, definitely raising doing over $1 million raise that time I did that. It's certain things that stick out, but like you can't really celebrate a lot in the business. Like God dang, there's always something on fire that you gotta put out, and it's always something that needs to be done.
Or even when your conversation started to change, like when you were talking to VCs or when you were presenting, like when did you have that pivot point? Like what? Oh, man, like when you said when you sold the first time, you went back and you did a master replay. Like if you could go back a little further, when was it that like, all right, I'm about to have this meeting.
All right, cool.
This was going to happen. I know what I did the last time. Like this is my.
All right, I think I got something for you, right? So the biggest aha moment I've ever had is because I was technical, and people told me that you need a business CEO. So I hired 2 CEOs, by the way. I hired a CEO and had to let him go. Then I hired another CEO, let him go. My biggest moment is when I realized, hey, look, I'm a CEO and I can run a company. So that's the biggest moment I had, and I think that everybody has some kind of imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome as far as can I really do this or whatever? And so when I got over that and man, I can do this, and that's when everything clicked for me. Like I got this, and that's what made me, I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm cocky, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how people can, I don't know what the perception is of other people, but that gave me swag. Like I got this. Knowing that I could do it and having that confidence. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. So everything. There's 3 things you can do with corporate dev. Like I said, the low pressure. Let's just have a conversation about some kind of partnership. But when you get in there, that you put your foot in the door, and then you pitch whatever you want to pitch. But I would say don't pitch as much. Just ask them what they're doing. Yep. Ask them, do y'all do investments, and what kind of companies y'all looking to invest in? So ask them as questions, not as kind of demands. And then, like I said, put them on your updates, and then nurture them over time. It's like a drip campaign in marketing. That make sense? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So it's you want to have the partnership, investment, and the M&A. So partnership, investment, bias. So there's 3 things Corp Dev can do for you. So, bro.
You mentioned, you growing up, people have money, uncles have checks and all that. So, you work with who you know, your family, right? Did you ever do that? And if so, how did it work? How did it work?
And funny enough, definitely, I've been really fortunate enough to work with family along this path. A while ago, my son is 24 now. Is he 24, Mandy? Aaron, our oldest son is 24. See, I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with ages. So actually, when he was like 15 or 16, he got into coding, and we built like 5 or 6 iPhone apps together, and we put them into iPhone store, shipped them, and it was in Objective C. He wrote all the back end stuff, and I kind of did all the front end work. So I got to build stuff with my son. Funny enough, and when my son was 17, this company called Rapid7, I worked for them. I actually introduced him to some people I knew there, and 7 years later, my son is paid at Yin Yang, and he's doing super well as a senior developer for that company. What's crazy is they went public. He had stock. This dude's like 20 years old. He had stock in a public traded company. You know, he could cash out. Then they gave him more stock, and then he got promoted. They gave him more stock. So, you know, working with my son, he's 24 now, and he's like, my son did not go to college, but he is balling right now. I'm like, God damn, that's crazy, right? And on the other side, when I did threat care, my son-in-law, my daughter is married. I got an opportunity to work with him. He was working for Time Warner Cable as a you know, when you call up having problems with your cable, he was having problems. I said, man, you're good with telesales. Like I need somebody to do inside sales from a support and SE role where he would do demos and all that stuff. And now my son-in-law works for CrowdStrike, which is another publicly traded company. So now I got my son and my son-in-law are both working for these massive cybersecurity companies and certified, and they're just doing pretty well for themselves. So definitely look. I don't know if this answers your question at all, but look for opportunities to discover people in your network and work with them, encourage them, give them opportunities, and you never know what happens. So those are 2 cases that I can kind of point to. That makes sense? That's good? Thanks, bro. All right. I think we're about done. Hey, appreciate y'all for coming, for sure.
Yeah, it's about that time. Thank you, Marcus. Everybody give him a quick round of applause. Appreciate you sharing the story. Is there anything else that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you kind of wanna throw out there?
Anything?
I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Anything we didn't cover?
I think I covered everything I could possibly cover.
Awesome.
That was a lot. Hey, hit me up anytime.
What's the best way?
So you see it says Marcus Carey up there. So marcuscarey@gmail.com is my email address. You can email me. I'm on Twitter, Marcus J. Carey. I'm like super active on Twitter.
Super active is an understatement. I follow the guy.
Yeah. So active on Twitter. DM me on Twitter. It's Marcus J. Carey on Twitter. And like I said, you can email me marcuscarey@gmail.com. I look at people's decks. I help everybody. So I'm here to help everybody out. You know, I help brown founders, white founders, black founders. I don't care if you know, purple, whatever it may be. Holler at your boy, and I'll tell you everything I know. I can't take it with me.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we still got some food, a drink or two if you want it as well. But thanks again, Marcus.